थैंक यू रश्मि। तोड़ना है हर पिंजड़ा, मेरी उड़ान अभी बाकी है। तोड़ना है हर पिंजड़ा, मेरी उड़ान अभी बाकी है। मंजिलें ज़मीं भर नहीं, आसमान अभी बाकी है। मंजिलें ज़मीं भर नहीं, आसमान अभी बाकी है। लहरों का थमना नहीं समंदर की बेबसी, लहरों का थमना नहीं समंदर की बेबसी। बाहर खामोशी सही, भीतर कई तूफान अभी बाकी है। The Civil Service Society of Kirodimal College extend its heartiest welcome to everyone present here for making their presence in the orientation event of this academic session of our society. कर्तव्य किरोड़ीमल कॉलेज की एक पहल है जो सभी शिक्षार्थियों को एक सहयोगी सीखने का माहौल प्रदान करने का प्रयास करती है, जो हमारे सिद्धांत एस्प्रिट दे कॉर्प्स के प्रतीक है। और आज हमारे साथ जुड़ के इवेंट मानित अतिथि आईएएस जितिन यादव सर। I am Krishika Jaiswal, an executive Kartavya, the Civil Service Society of Kirodimal College. I take the pleasure of being the host for the day. Now, I would like to call my host for the day, Amna Khan, which is an executive council member of Kartavya, to introduce our guest of honor, none other than IS Yadav sir.
Thank you, Krishika. A very warm good afternoon to everyone. I am Amna Khan, and I take immense pleasure to have this opportunity to introduce such an extraordinary personality as IAS Jitin Yadav. He is an alumni of University of Delhi who did his bachelor's in physics from St. Stephen's College and his master's in public management from JNU. Prior to joining civil services, he worked as a derivatives trader in energy in a proprietary firm. He has served as an assistant security commissioner at Railway Protection Force. He is a big influence and a bigger inspiration for all of us and every civil services aspirant out there. Now, I would like to invite Sir to say a few words for our audience. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. And I really thank the society behind it. I remember when I was in college, we never had such a society. And I don't know, you call it society or club. We used to call it societies during our time. So Kartavya and the entire team behind it, kudos to all of you, for putting in such effort, talking to people. Like Mehak talked to me and she asked me, whether I can be part of this. And my simple reply was like, I'll be more than happy to be part of it. Because, when I was in college, I never had this exposure. So if probably I had experience at that point of time, things change. It depends how the exposure we get and how we take it, step by step. So to all the people, it's amazing. A lot of students have joined, and it's really commendable that on a Sunday, that too, where we feel very lazy and relaxed, and so much motivation is running in all of you at this level. You all can do wonders, if this motivation is at this point of time. Because in college, I remember during my those 3 years, uh, we all want to enjoy college life, and we want to be part of the activities. But unfortunately, COVID is not allowing us to do that. But due to societies and efforts of individuals who are behind the society, who make these sort of things happen, it will definitely go a long way. In the future, I'll be more than happy to take more sessions if possible, and if part of students of the college become civil servants later on, it will be a tremendous achievement for the society. With this, I thank you all for giving me the opportunity, for making this happen. At the same time, I'll try to keep this session more of interactive rather than one-sided. So I'll probably speak for 10-15 minutes about the basic nuances about my journey, and then we can take up questions, because the more interaction we do, the more open up we are. We keep it one-sided, then I feel that's not the way I do it. Every day, almost not every day, I would say once or twice a week or thrice a week, I try to take sessions on Twitter also. So my mode of conversation is just interactive. The more we interact, the more we get to know. I'll just tell you a brief about me. A brief about me has already been, given to you before. And so, born and brought up in Gurgaon, did my 10th and 12th there. Then did my physics honors from University of Delhi, not far from your college. It's nearby only. And we visited KMC many times, visited canteens. We ate a lot of things over there. And whenever we used to go to Kamla Nagar, we used to cross Kirodimal College. So I always had that fascination of the great entrance that you have. And my few of my friends were from your college, so KMC was very familiar to me. And after college, I worked 3 years in Gurgaon in a trading firm named Futures First. I working there for 3 years. Then I started preparing for civil services. In my first attempt, I got selected into railways. In my second attempt, I couldn't clear the exam. And then in the third attempt, I became IAS. And today I'm in Bengal cadre, 2016 batch. It's been around 5 years, more than 5 years into the service. So, when we are in college, we are a bit confused what to do, what not to do. A lot of things goes in our head. I had like n number of options in my head. I'll be going to a private sector. I want to do actuarial science. I wanted to become a civil servant. I wanted to join one NGO. So, I always used to keep it open. And a lot of societies and clubs, they used to put an effort in organizing lectures where we get more exposure so that we get to decide what we want to do in life. So that's why these sessions, these interactions, these exposures, I'm not saying that whatever I'll say, everything will be very important to you, but if you can pick even a small thing out of this session which can be helpful to you later on, then I think my job is done. So I'll just tell you a brief about the exam. I think more or less whoever is part of this session, we are part of this session because we are interested in UPSC Civil Services exam. We know the basics of the exam. The exam entails prelims, mains, and interview. Prelims entails 2 papers, mains, general studies and CSAT, which is aptitude. Mains is general studies 4 papers, GS 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the ethics one. Then we have essay, we have optional. We have to pick one optional, which entails 2 papers. And then we have 2 qualifying papers, English and 1 language. Then after that, we give interview, and prelims marks won't be calculated in the final score. Mains and interview marks will be calculated, and then we are finally selected. Out of the total competition of, let's say, 10 lakhs or even 5 lakhs people, they write the exam. Finally, 700, 800 odd, they get to be part of the civil services. So there could be a possibility in this session. There are students from first year, second year, third year. So when we are in college, the beauty of college is we have plenty of time in the sense, apart from the college activities and apart from the studies, whatever spare time we get, if we can utilize that time in developing the soft skills for this exam, then it can do wonders for you. Reason being is because I developed these things totally, when I resigned from my job, when I started preparing for it. And then in the hindsight, I thought, what if I could have done this during my college days? What if I read newspaper regularly? What if I read few books in my spare time, which I ruined, wasted too many movies. I'm not saying don't watch movies, but to a limited extent, try to manage that. So because there's no paucity of time in college, you can study on your own pace. You can take your time for research, how to research a topic, how to go into detail, because there will be no pressure that you're writing the exam next year. Probably for third year students, who will be writing the paper next year, but let's say first and second year. So there's no pressure, and there's no pressure. The best will come out because you study to understand things. But when time constraint and nervousness of the exam, these things come into picture, we don't perform well. So this is where if you can start these small things during college time only, then I think it will be really beneficial for all of us. This is where the society as a lot can do a lot of things together, so that it could be interactive sessions, It could be, different sort of experiences, how to pick an optional, what could be the problem with respect to CSAT, brainstorming. The society can have a session on their own where they brainstorm how to go about this topic, and let's see what the best can come out after 30-40 minutes. Because these sort of things, these are missing when you prepare on your own. There could be teams formations, there could be mock interviews beforehand only. So let's say, what is mock interview? Mock interview is sort of a simulation. You are experiencing something beforehand which you are about to give later, so you can practice on your own. So all the small things regarding the exam, if the society can tackle them one by one, then all the participants of the society will be interested, they will be intrigued that a lot of things are happening. At the same time, you all will grow year by year. So this is something, if Kartavya as a team can do well, then I think we all will be motivated, and we won't be surprised to see many students from KMC clearing UPSC exam. So one is these soft skills which you can develop in college. Writing skills are part of it. Many a times after college, we work, then we write paper. We are not in a habit of writing. Start with a small writing, start with a small daily diary, whatever you feel like. So, writing is basically two aspects. One is the thought process should be converted into a written form. That is one part of the writing. And second is, how the checker will feel. So, you also think about the reader who will be reading these answers or the things which you are writing. So obviously daily diary we can't disclose to anyone else, but if you're writing something especially for the exam, you can conduct small tests for students, so that they can be in a habit of doing this in college only the spare time should be utilized. I'll be totally against if we invest too much time for UPSC in college and we miss out on the personality aspects, the kind of exposure, the kind of learnings we get in college. This is a part of our personality development. If we solely become dependent on UPSC, we'll miss out a lot of things of college. At this point of time, you can invest more time because you're at home. Probably colleges are not happening because of COVID. But once COVID is over and then normal colleges start, then just the spare time should be utilized. Rest everything which is required for your studies in college, your activities, you should be active in that, because the sort of personality you will develop during the college, that will only sail you forward. I am what I am because of those 3 years. Those 3 years of college played a very important part in my life. So please be ensure you utilize it fully, and the spare time can be utilized in something which we want to do later. Just like, like goods, if you want to prepare for this exam, you are supposed to pick resources, right? You have to pick materials. How are we supposed to do that? Just like beginners, you search online, you see videos, and after a point of time, you decide, okay, out of, let's say, 10 articles I read, out of those few videos I saw, if most of the selected candidates who got selected, they are recommending these materials or these resources, there has to be something good about it. So this is how we start. I also started in a similar manner. Initially, I was totally blank about the exam. I used to read a lot. So first point to start with is like reading a lot about the exam. See videos on YouTube. See what sort of people are those who are clearing the exam. Hard work, perseverance, the basic demands and tenets for this exam should be there. You should be ready to face anything in the manner, even failure. Let's say if you're not able to clear in the first attempt, you are supposed to write for second attempt. If not second, then third. I'm meeting people in the service who wrote the exam for 5th time, 6th time. So, when we begin, we are confused what to do. The confidence is low. These are the basic, traits of aspirants in the beginning. So search online, read, watch YouTube videos, see a decent enough sample space, see what majority of the people are telling you, then pick those resources. Initially for first few months, our preparation goes like this. Let's say in first year you start with NCERTs, reading newspaper, current affairs. Then after a few months, start picking traditional books, for polity, for history, then like that. So initially in the first few months, I used to go blindly by the recommendation I used to find online. Then later on, after 2-3 months, I had developed an understanding of the exam. So once I had the understanding of the exam, okay, what is the syllabus? This is how we are supposed to study. Because for 2-3 months, I was totally engrossed in my studies, just like serious aspirants, and I'm expecting all of us will be like that only. So then once I get hold of things, then I used to pick my own resources on materials. I used to see things on my own that, if I saw a book and I found the book interesting, it's just not necessary that someone is recommending. I can pick resources on my own, but that will not happen initially. Initially, we are clueless about things. We are confused, low in confidence. So initially, you can go with the blind recommendations, no harm. But once you spend 3-4 months in the preparation, then now you are much more aware. You have got more exposure with respect to the exam, and then you can pick things on your own. So especially now, how to manage this in college? College would be newspaper is must. Try to read newspaper daily. NCERTs are must. Try to go through NCERTs properly. Reason being is because you have leverage of that time. So if someone preparing after college and they don't have that leverage and they have time constraint, probably they won't be reading NCERTs. NCERTs are what? NCERTs are basically we develop base. So when we write a word, we need letters. When we write a sentence, we need words. So similarly, when we read a number of topics, we need some basic understanding of those topics, right? So in order to develop that basic understanding of those topics, you need to, and what are those basic things? NCERTs only. So in schools, probably we never thought that, we'll be writing UPSC, so we study NCERT to a different level. But at the same time, you can see, when you are in college, you have plenty of time. You can start with NCERT slowly and slowly. After you are done, it's not necessary you are supposed to read each and every NCERT. You can decide on your own also. Pick few NCERTs, read, make notes if possible. It will help you later, because then you don't have to read NCERTs again. So you can convert those NCERTs into very brief notes, and later on it will help you in revision. Pick those materials. As I said before, initially you can go for blind recommendation, then after a few months you can do it on your own. This is where society can help you with, as a society, you can form a team. Let's say one team will look after this, one team will look after this. What are the best resources which are available? What are, what best current affairs resources? So that we all have a consensus together. Once that is done, you just start reading, you start studying, you understand the basic nuances of the exam, and bang, you are on track. Then all you need is the number of hours. You will come across many selected candidates. Someone will say, I used to study 12 hours a day. Someone will say, I used to study only for 5 hours a day. See, there are 304 people in this session, and all of us are different. All of us are different. We all have our different history. We all have our different backgrounds. We all have different memory styles, learning styles. So obviously something which I am studying and something which you are studying, we all will take, more or less time. There could be a possibility someone started preparation immediately after 10th. There could be a possibility someone started preparation immediately in the first year of college. There could be a possibility a person like me who resigned from the job and then suddenly started. So because of our past experiences, the number of hours will vary. Just because one person is saying that I studied only 5 hours, that does not mean those 5 hours will work for me. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. So we all are different. We have to figure out what is our different method. So then, I realize after a point of time, I'm one of those that, if I read something, I won't be able to remember for long. So I need revisions because my memory was like that. So I ensured that if I revise things, I need more time. And if for those revisions more time is required, then definitely my number of hours will be more than as compared to others. So this is where we have to be sure of those individual experiences and individual history, because once we understand that, then only we will stop comparing with others. We just can't compare someone who got selected at the age of 21 or someone who got selected at the age of 32. We just can't compare them because those are different individuals. So you are different, your learning styles are totally different, your memory styles are totally different. So one is in this examination, two important aspects are, one is understanding the exam. So how we understand the exam? By going through the previous year papers, by reading about it, by watching videos on it. You get a lot of understanding with respect to the exam. Second is understanding ourselves. We have to understand ourselves also. It's not just we have to study books. We have to study on our, ourselves also. What is my memory like? If I'm studying something today and my paper is on 5th of June, how am I going to remember that? And that can only be done when I know that what sort of memory style I have. Am I one of those who are supposed to revise again and again? If I'm revising, then what should be the best mechanism? Should I revise from book or notes? what method will suit me. These are small issues that cripple us throughout the preparation. Just because we don't have clarity on these issues, people suffer for years, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years, 5 years, because we could not resolve these issues. And then during the beginning of the preparation, if we are sure that this is a material I have to study and this is something I have to remember for long, then just all we need to find out a mechanism that suits us. So my mechanism was simple. I used to convert everything into notes. Then I used to revise multiple times, and then my memory used to become sharper and sharper. Reason being is because I did that analysis before. It took me one attempt to realize that. Fortunately, I cleared the paper in that one attempt, but I'm not in that service anymore. I see, I cleared the paper in my third attempt. So in those first 2 years, I just understood these sort of things. This exam is much more about just studying. It's about analyzing ourselves also. Introspection, as we call it. If writing is a problem, then what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to write. We have to practice. If essay is the problem, then what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to write. We have to practice essays. Now, how to practice essays, that is a different sort of a strategy. I'm not going to go into the detailed nuances of the preparation at this point of time, because I am assuming this is the first session of the society, the orientation ceremony. So I don't want to demotivate you. I rather want to motivate you for the exam. So that is where understanding ourselves and understanding the exam, these two things are very important. So the more we try, if throughout the time we focus on the exam and we do not focus on ourselves, then the balance will not be there. The balance will only come once we draw a line that this is the requirement of the exam. This is where I stand. Even if my level is low, I have to bring my level up to the level of the exam. And how that will come? By understanding the basic nuances of the exam. Okay, what is that exam demanding from me? What are they expecting from us? Do they expect good writing? Do they expect good perception power or analyzing power? If yes, then what do I have to do? I need time for that, right? And in college we have plenty of time for that. So use your spare time to do this sort of analysis, so that it can help you in becoming I would say a better person at the end of the day, and it will help you in achieving clearing your goal in becoming a civil servant that you are aiming for. Then just all you have to do is just put in right amount of effort, put in the number of hours, and you will enjoy the preparation. Many a times we prepare and then we are totally demotivated, we are sad, and we don't enjoy the preparation. Trust me, this is if you clear in the first attempt, well and good. It could be a lengthy process also. So you have to enjoy the preparation. I personally feel, just like college, those 3 years, immediately, after working, I had prepared for 3 years. Those 3 years again were the best phase of my life. Struggle was there, tension was there, nervousness was there, anxiety was there. But I ensured that those 3 years I enjoyed. And if you tell me that I want to go back to those times, I would. I would definitely love to go back and enjoy that time, because I learned so much about myself. I learned so many things which I thought probably I could have never understood if I were not preparing for UPSC. So it was not just about clearing the paper. It's about knowing ourselves. And by knowing ourselves, I mean, if I'm not good at something, how am I tackling that? Because in this exam, you will come across n number of topics, n number of subjects. We won't be good at everything. We have to be jack of all trades and master of one, and one is optional, right? So you have to understand yourself also, and you have to understand the exam. This is very important. So if you are practical and if just like we start a new subject or a new topic, we have zero understanding, and then we slowly build it up, then only the confidence will be gained. And then this is how things will come later on also. So how to prepare those things, how to go about it. These small doubts will be cleared automatically once you understand that this is how it is. And many a times what happens if we are preparing and things are not going the way we want, then immediately in the recent times we have become such short-sighted because of social media and these things. Our attention span has reduced. I guarantee, if I tell you to study for 2 hours without looking at your phone, I think it will be impossible for you, right? To all the people, but fortunately, when I was preparing, I prepared from 2013 to 15, At that time, the advent of social media was not this much, but in today's time, there's much more social media everywhere. So we have to be sure that self-control should be there. When we are studying, that notification, it's not like, I'm taking a lecture, I'm taking a session here, and then suddenly for each and everything, I'm looking at my phone. Obviously, my thought process will break, my thinking will break. The way I'm speaking, that will break. Exactly same happens when we study. When you're studying a topic, you studied a single page, and in between you check your phone 5 times. So that distraction will ensure that you don't remember things. And then what will happen after the end of the month? You will tell me, I study so much, but nothing is happening. I don't remember anything. Reason being is we did not focus on these small issues. So it's like when we decide doing something, it's our decision. No one is forcing us to write civil services. It's our own decision. So that commitment should be there. How to manage social media. If you're not able to manage it, get rid of it. Facebook is not something which is essential for you at this point of time. If you feel that something between exam and something between you is coming, just remove that. Any distraction between you and your exam should be removed. It could be phone also, social media also, it could be friends also. If your friends are not able to understand you, that means you have to tell them that this is something you want to do. You have to limit down your interactions also, breaks also. So that sort of dedication is required. And if that sort of dedication is inculcated at this point of time, then immediately after college, it can save you a couple of years. And those couple of years can make a lot of difference. So let's say you are a good aspirant, you want to prepare well, and you are bound, let's say you clear the paper in 3 or 4 attempts. But if you prepare that thing properly at this point of time, and with that dedication, you never know, you can prepare in first attempt or second attempt. So those 2 years or at least 1 year will be saved because of this effort. I remember one of my friend, we are very good friend. Immediately after college, he was lost. We are trying to call him, not traceable. From here and there, we got to know. I was working in Gurgaon then, he was in Karol Bagh, and we got to know that he's preparing for civil services. So one day I came to Karol Bagh, I wanted to meet him. Phone is not working, WhatsApp is not replying, social media gone, he's lost. You won't believe, after 2 years, he got 102 rank. Reason being is, he understood himself what sort of person that he is. He knew that because he was such a social person in college, and suddenly he transformed. Just because he felt that this is the demand of the paper, and I'm not that sort of person if I can manage both. Right? He always, after selected, he used to be very angry here. What is this? You're not interacting and those sort of things. But then we were happy that at least he cleared the exam, and what he wanted he achieved. But he knew to what extent he can go. And he's like, I can't make balance of these two. If I'm meeting my friends and I'm studying, I will end up meeting friends only. So sometimes the decisions can be so extreme also. Some people are very good at balancing things. They can balance. So they manage both. They will manage their social side, their preparation also, and everything will go smooth. For some people, it is totally different. So I hope you're understanding when I'm saying that we all are individuals and we have to behave in a different way. So just because that one person, he cut off from everything, that doesn't mean I have to cut off. I have to understand what suits me and what is my way of doing things. How individually, well, I'm able to handle these things. So my way could be totally different way. So, it's like cutting off from social media for a few months before the examination. So whenever I felt distractions, so, at that point of time, internet was not rampant. It was not cheap. Internet was very costly then. So we never had this luxury. But nowadays, internet is so cheap. Throughout the time, our notification and everything is open. So please ensure whenever you study, how your processing is going on, how the CPU is working, we have to figure out, because if we become those short-sighted and if we become that social media frenzy, our attention span will be low. We will not be able to concentrate on editorials, long articles, and sitting for long hours. So these small things matters a lot. And it's again at the same time, exam is demanding something and you have to supply that. Just like being good students, we have to draw balance between demand and supply. So what is the demand? You have to supply that. If you're not supplying as per the demand, then obviously the goal will not be fulfilled. So with this, I don't want to take much time, giving more gyan again and again. We have more sessions, detailed sessions. I want to know, what sort of doubts you have, what is going in your head, because there could be a possibility whatever I say, it could go above your head also or below your head also. So I just want to say, please come up with doubts. I want to see and I want to ask the members of the society also, what are they planning? What is the goal of creating this society and what are they expecting? So if we can start from that, then I think we can then move on from other participants. They can ask questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a glorified word. Now I would like to move over second round, that is a question and answer round. I would request all the participants to write their question in the live chat box and we shall address those questions. और इसी की शुरुआत मैं अपने एक क्वेश्चन से करना चाहूंगी. Sir, as we all know, you are belonging from one of the prestigious college of Delhi University. What was your college learning in a non-academic field which helped you out in cracking CSE?
My basic learning was during college time. I realized whatever we want to do in life, it's people like us who do it. कोई अगर पेपर क्लियर कर लेता है तो हमें ऐसा लगता है कि वो तो बहुत इंटेलिजेंट होगा. जैसे कॉलेज में बोलते हैं स्टड होगा या होगी, जैसे भी मतलब अब चाहे. When we are in first year, we see the third year students. When we are in second year, we again see the third year students. They go to different places, and after that also. So we always had this tendency in mind, probably they are better than us, and that stops us from working hard. So this is something which I gained in college, that when I saw my seniors, even in Hindu college, KMC, we used to get to know the stories. Oh, that person is going there, doing this thing and that thing. So I realized, I'm also a student. I'm also, in the same fraternity. What could be the difference between KMC and Stephens? Could be a small gap of cutoff only, nothing else, right? So how does it differentiate students? We all are the same. So this one thing was there in my head, whatever we do in life, it's people like us who do it. So it's not like I'm not capable. So many a times, the journey stops in the beginning only when people realize that they are not capable. They are not meant to be IS because they feel they are not that material. There's no specific material for this exam. We all are the same. We are in the same boat. In fact, in UPSC civil services, it has been seen, the history suggests, hardworking people have a more chances of clearing the exam than talented people. This is my, experience of the past 7-8 years since preparation. I started my preparation in September, October 2012, and it's 2021 now, almost 9 years, across 9 years. So this is what the journey of UPSC has taught me. Preparation and in the service, the people who are hardworking have cleared the paper. They have more chances of clearing the paper than people who are talented. So this bare fact is something which I learned in college, that if I believe in myself, I'm self-confident, and I believe that if I do something, put justice to that thing, then I can definitely do it. So this was my learning from college, and it still applies in my life. Not just I just cleared UPSC, so it will stop. No. So once you become civil servant, there are other facets of life, right? You have to learn a number of things. Difficulties will come. I always felt if I work upon something, I can do it.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, एक फर्स्ट ईयर के स्टूडेंट को अपनी तैयारी कहाँ से और कैसे शुरू करनी चाहिए?
जैसे अभी मैंने थोड़ी देर पहले बोला था, फर्स्ट ईयर में थोड़ा न्यूज़पेपर पढ़िए, एनसीईआरटी पढ़िए, सिर्फ स्पेयर टाइम में. मैं दोबारा इस चीज को बोलना चाहूंगा, कॉलेज में हम पूरा टाइम यूपीएससी को नहीं दे सकते. अभी आप दे सकते हो बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज ऑनलाइन, बट लेट्स से व्हेन कॉलेज रिज्यूम्स, तो कॉलेज की एक्टिविटीज है, लाइक ये भी जो सोसाइटी है, बाकी भी बहुत सोसाइटीज होती है, ये आपकी पर्सनालिटी ग्रूमिंग में काफी हेल्प करती है. तो वो पर्सनालिटी ग्रूम होना, बिकॉज वो जो कॉन्फिडेंस है, अब वो 3 साल बाद आएगा, वो अगर आप यूपीएससी में डाल दोगे तो वो कॉन्फिडेंस कहाँ से आएगा? Like I never prepared for you. I never wanted to become a civil servant in college. I was like कि मैं कुछ जॉब करूंगा फाइनेंस में करके, मैं इंडिया से बाहर जाके अच्छे से और मास्टर्स करके I'll work do something in finance. ये मेरा कॉलेज के टाइम का गोल था. तो I never focused, but I was more participative. मतलब मैं सोसाइटीज में पार्ट लेता था, डिस्कशंस करता था. I was open to ideas and thoughts कि either there are two type of people in this world, like Sachin Tendulkar and A.R. Rahman. They knew since beginning कि उनको करना क्या है. क्योंकि दूसरे कैटेगरी के लोग मेरे जैसे होते थे जिनको पता नहीं था क्या करना है. तो what we do hit and trial, right? कभी कुछ ट्राई करेंगे, फिर कुछ देखेंगे, फिर कुछ ट्राई करेंगे, कुछ देखेंगे. तो I was more of a hit and trial person in college. तो मैं डिफरेंट चीजें ट्राई करता था, सारी चीज करता था. I gained a lot of exposure, and then I thought probably later on I can use that in my life. So फर्स्ट ईयर में मैं यही बोलूंगा, अपार्ट फ्रॉम योर शेड्यूल्स, कॉलेज स्टडीज, start with the newspapers regularly, understand issues. If you don't understand anything from newspaper, तो उसके बाद उसको थोड़ा गूगल करो, समझने की कोशिश करो, उसकी हिस्ट्री क्या है. बहुत सारी चीजों पे यूट्यूब के वीडियोस बने होते हैं, उनको देखो. आपको इश्यूज समझ आना चाहिए. कोई भी चीज अभी करंटली चल रही है उसको समझने का कोशिश करो. ओपिनियंस हर चीज पे बनाने की अभी जरूरत नहीं है. किसान आंदोलन चल रहा था, वो क्या है किसान आंदोलन, उसको समझने की कोशिश करो, उस पर आर्टिकल्स रीड करने की कोशिश करो. व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट एंगल्स, फेसेट्स, कि पॉजिटिव जो उसके बारे में बोल रहे हैं वो क्या बोल रहे हैं, जो नेगेटिव बोल रहे हैं वो क्या बोल रहे हैं. फिर डिफरेंट वेराइटी ऑफ थॉट्स को लेके अपना एक ओपिनियन बनाइए कि मुझे ये लगता है. तो जो हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा, दैट्स अ डिफरेंट इशू. बट आपको अपने अपने ओपिनियंस भी बनाना जरूरी है. तो वो जितना रीड करोगे, चीजों को समझोगे, तब आएगा. इन सब चीजों के लिए टाइम चाहिए होता है. ये टाइम आपके पास है फर्स्ट ईयर में, तो मुझे लगता है कि फर्स्ट ईयर में ये सब चीजें करनी चाहिए.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to take another question. Looking at the current scenario, when everything turned online, what is your perception about the aspirants preparing for the exams? Is this online mode an asset which keep them away from all the offline deviation, or it is a disadvantage which keep them away from offline opportunities?
So online, when everything is online, for UPSC aspirant, the biggest beauty of this thing is you can avoid coaching. We all have doubts whether we have to join coaching or not. Since everything is available, all sort of guidance, materials, I would say there's plenty only. So nowadays the basic thing about UPSC is it's important not to find out what to study. It is important to find out what not to study. Because so much of material and guidance, and I would say videos and articles, it's filled with, internet is filled with these sort of things. So it's good for at this stage, or in the information age, we have plenty of resources. So which is a good thing for aspirant, that if I'm sitting in Calcutta, and previously what used to happen, I'll give you a simple example. How coaching industry started. Someone in probably Assam wants to prepare for UPSC, has no idea how to go about it. Now, no resources available. What was the best thing which that person could have done? Gone to Delhi, coaching institutes are there, they can guide them. I'm talking about a scenario which is probably, let's say, 15 years back, 20, 25 years back, when there was nothing on social media, no articles, YouTube videos, rarity. So that person had only one option, to go to Delhi and prepare for civil services. But now with advent of this information age, when everything is available online, wherever you are, all you need is a good internet connection. Just like this session we are having today. Right? So this is the beauty of this, online age. Everything is available. You can find out resources, you can filter things, and you can figure out what you want to study. You are not dependent on anyone. You can do on your own. So this is where it will help you a lot.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Mehak to further speak on.
Thank you, Amna. Thank you so much for coming, sir. Now, addressing to your question that what are the goals of the society? The society was established in 2017 by our seniors, and this orientation is for the fresh batch of 2022. And we're really looking forward to assist their UPSC preparation through various ways that we can, like by sharing relevant materials or by conducting quizzes, or anything that is in our capacity as students. And one of the things that we also like to do is conduct sessions with officers like you who really help our preparations. So that's what the society is about. And we also are really looking forward to have more sessions with you in the future. you can continue with the Q&A round, Amna and Krishika.
Thank you so much, Mehak, and I feel very fortunate to be part of this session, because, as I said before, we never had this sort of thing in our college. And if we had this sort of thing, then we were, probably I could have cleared in my first or second attempt, became IAS rather than in my third attempt. So no, that exposure was missing somehow. So I feel that all the participants of this session, we all are fortunate that such a dedicated team is there, and with that professional attitude. Generally we don't expect that professional attitude in college, but you already have that. So I commend that to the team.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to take this privilege to ask you a question that I have. Since the GS4 ethics paper is, said to be a little difficult and a little application based. So do you think the ethics that we have in real life, the kind of ethical person you are in your real life, does that matter in the ethics paper? Is that reflective of that, or these are the two completely different things?
I won't say these are the two completely different things. I would say definitely subsets. See, paper is something different. Many a times there could be a possibility what you are doing in paper, those things are ideal. But we also come across things in real life, those things are not ideal. The outcomes could not be ideal. But yes, as an individual, we can always think about ourselves. If we can't control a number of parameters, we can at least control one parameter, which is us. So, I always felt, when I started my preparation in 2013, at that time, the ethics paper came in. So even today, people find it very difficult to prepare because it's more of a writing exam, and a bit, it should be a balance, like 50% is content and 50% is your writing skill. How you manage those case studies, how that understanding, how the grasping power is, how your articulation is, how you use your ethics knowledge, what you have studied in the syllabus in those answers, so that, knowing content is one aspect of the answer, showing that content is other aspect of the answer. So it's, let's say if you are checking my copy and I know a lot of things, but if you're not getting anything out of my answer copy, what is the benefit of that knowledge? So we should be have that understanding that knowing is one aspect, showing in your answer that you know a lot of things is also another beauty of answer writing. That is something very important to learn. Yes, we learn a lot of things in ethics paper which are very much related to the real life also. It's like, we have to be neutral, impartial. You can always tell me, sir, these things are not visible in today's time. As I said, many a times we have to be practical. There could be a possibility, just like we have good, bad, ugly everywhere in all the fields, there could be good, bad, ugly in civil services also. If you name a field, we'll have good people, we'll have bad people. So we are not going to judge anyone here, but at the same time, I'm saying it's always better if whatever we are studying, if we are implementing those in our fields. The way we are transparent, responsible, the way the system expects us to work. That is something which we feel is a takeaway from the ethics paper.
Thank you so much, sir. Krishika and Amna, you can continue with another questions.
Thank you, Mehak. Thank you, sir. Sir, there's a query from the chat box. As you did your master's from JNU, so to what extent JNU has helped you in your UPSC preparation?
I did not do my master's properly from JNU. That is a secret I want to tell everyone. So once you get into services, during the probation time, we have a probation time of 2 years, as we all know, after getting into IS. And after those 2 years, you get a master's degree from JNU. So I'm not exactly from JNU, but I'm from JNU. So, it's like your training is divided into 4 parts, just like 4 semesters of masters. So your foundation course will be 1 semester. Your phase 1 will be 1 semester. Your district training will be 1 semester. And finally, your phase 2, after that you confirmed in the service, that will be a 4th semester. During this 4th semester, proper exams are conducted, assignments are given, dissertation we have to do, just like in masters. And then you are given master's degree as per the performance. So basically it's a tie-up between the Labasna Academy and the JNU, and it's not with the IS service. There are other services also who offer masters like this. So I'm technically not exactly from JNU. I would rather prefer calling myself Jay Stephanian, or I would say, from Delhi University, because I spent those 3 years over there. So I'm much more attached to that place. I visited JNU only few times, 2-3 times.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to take the question from the chat box. Sir's essay plays a vital role in mains, while in recent scenario, the essay being asked are so philosophical. In such a case, what strategy can we follow to tackle them, sir?
The person who asked the question, he must have gone through the essay of the mains, which is going on right now. Day before yesterday, essay paper was there. I myself shared on Twitter, showed a bit of disagreement. But see, it's like war. When you're preparing for UPSC, you can't blame anyone. Papers are equal for everyone. If let's say if there are 312 people in this session and there are 10 seats, and a paper came, we all are on the same platform. So I always felt if we adapt ourselves to the demand of the paper, then that will be more helpful to us. Yes, you can say the language is philosophical, but at the same time, I'll give you, see, when we are writing essays, the UPSC expects us to create individual differences. So let's say the language of essay is simple, what we are expecting, then most of us will end up writing the same thing. How will they create individual differences? I have to design paper in such a manner that if there are 300 people in the people writing the paper, I have to draw individual differences. That is why the level of paper, the style of questions, those keep on changing. At the same time, if the language, if you feel more confusing, always read the language properly. We all are equally capable that if something is written in English, we are able to understand that thing which the person is trying to say. We at least we all are on the same platform. I hope you all agree with that. Our English is not that bad. If something is written, a sentence is written in English, we are able to understand that. So how to handle those? So always, be as creative as possible. Think of different angles, different diversities. Could be a sociological angle, could be economical, technological, cultural, psychological. See different perspectives which you can come up with, and what sort of things you can include. My way of doing the essay was I used, so I want to tell everyone that it's a 3-hour paper, 180 minutes. So 1 hour 30 minutes for one essay and 1 hour 30 minutes for second essay. So for those 90 minutes, initial 10 minutes to 15 minutes, I used to do brainstorming. On the last sheet of the paper, exam booklet, I used to, even when I was practicing in room, I used to follow the same approach. First 10 to 15 minutes, I'll do brainstorm. I used to think all of the points which I feel are relevant with respect to the exam, for that particular topic. Then that is done for 10 minutes. Then I'll take a couple of minutes for organizing those things. So all the points which I wrote on the paper, what should be used, ahead, what should be used in the middle, what should be used later on. So that priority should be done. And then, you start writing, okay, this is my introduction, and then my body will be like this. Yes, questions are philosophical to some extent, you can say, but answers could not be philosophical. It's your interpretation, the way you want to say it. You can use variety of angles and techniques to write those answers. Different perspectives can be brought in to put in, because this is what they want. They want, if 300 people are writing one essay, they want 300 different types of essays, and they want to see what you can play with. So you have to play with words, you have to play with different stories, sort of things, and that is the beauty of the exam. We get to explore ourselves. So the only way is practice these sort of things in advance. As we said, we have plenty of time in college. The society can conduct one essay test. Someone can check those papers, and these sort of things can groom you in a way. So the problem initially is that we are scared of writing because we feel we never done that before. But we have not done a number of things also. Just like we practice other things, we have to practice this also.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, what are the mistakes you made in your preparation which an aspirant should not do?
So one mistake I did was, the first attempt when I was making my notes, I couldn't revise them properly. So proper, time management, how to make notes, it took me some time. I was never in a habit of making notes. First time I read an article, I wanted to convert into notes. I realized I end up copying the entire article. So, it's similarly the way it happens with all of us. Slowly, the habit came in. Another mistake was I was totally out of study when I worked for 3 years. So I had 12-hour shift, totally out of touch, forgot how to read newspaper and everything. So, it became difficult for me to have, sit down for at least, for a two-hour class also. Then slowly, I brought in, those things into my habits, and slowly the things changed. Mistake was, I won't say the mistake, I would say those were learnings only. So, the essay, I felt initially my writing, I did not focus much on in my first attempt. Notes making was a problem. I end up studying a lot of things which I felt I could have managed with limited number of things. So, when from first attempt to third attempt, my number of resources reduced actually, where for most of the people it increases because I brought in more clarity with respect to exam. So by end of 1 or 2 years, I had more clarity with respect to the exam as compared to, initial few years. So these are the mistakes I did. I kept procrastinating. If I felt I'm not good at writing, I thought probably let me finish the syllabus, and later on I will write. I kept on procrastinating until the point I felt now the time is gone, I can't do that. So then I realized this sort of feeling kept on happening in the next attempt also. And I got to a situation of understanding this will happen irrespective of how I feel. I have to write in order to clear the exam, and I have to practice. And then I realized when I started practicing and started writing things, I was so happy with myself. After obviously not with the first answer, after a few days of practice, I felt so happy that I'm not a bad writer after all. I can write well. And today I'm writing articles also. Few of my articles are published also. So that initial fear that was stopping me, that is something we have to cross, and it will only happen the more we practice and the more we get to know us. So these mistakes which happened, I overcame them later on.
Thank you so much, sir. So I would like to ask a question. Sometimes we might feel that we are demotivated because the aspirants which are applying most probably from the exam and clearing it, they are from IT backgrounds and some of them are doctors. So they have already have cleared lots of competitive exams. We are just a fresher. We didn't give any exam before that. So how we could assess ourselves that yeah, we have the ability to clear?
Yes, thank you. It's a very good question. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
basically, this is what happens. As I said, we all are individuals, and we are not supposed to compare with others. And the beauty of UPSC is hard work can beat talent. There could be a possibility that person has written IIT exam. He has faced a similar sort of competition after 12th standard. There could be a possibility the person is a doctor. He has also faced a similar, a sort of competition after 12 during NEET exam. And they obviously during those 5 years of MBBS, they study a lot. But what is the guarantee that, will you assure you that you will clear the exam? It will not. So, if you feel that, those are more capable, then you are undermining yourself. As I said before, we cannot undermine ourselves. We are equally capable. It's only a matter of time. So it could be a possibility that person who was in a habit of studying well, they are okay with schedule of 6 to 7 hours a day. Then give 10 hours a day. Try to prove yourself. So it's just, and who stopped you for writing those exams? You could have also written those exams, but it was our decision. But the question comes when we become serious in life. It hardly matters what you scored in 10. It hardly matters what you scored in 12th, and it will hardly matter what you did in college. So I'm not saying I was bad in studies, but I had decent marks. I had good marks in school. But I've seen people scoring not so good marks in schools and colleges and faring very well in UPSC. Reason was, when it mattered, they were serious. And probably they were not that serious and mature enough, and exposure was quite less before. So because of those issues, their performance was not up to the mark in 10th, 12th and college. But then after that, when they understood things, they became serious with respect to the exam. They felt, yes, they can do it, and they cleared the exam. There are many examples. Most of the aspirants, in fact, who prepare for UPSC, they are not toppers, right? So we have to get rid of this mindset. People have technical advantage. No one has advantage here. If we feel that, then we are at disadvantage. Only hard work can beat this. If you feel so, put in more number of hours.
Thank you, sir. Due to limitation of time, we'll take our last query, which is, can you please recall your interview day? Like, what was your experience?
I gave 2 interviews. First one was very scary in the sense I was scared, how it will go, what will happen, what sort of questions they will ask, the way it happens with everyone. I got average marks, but I studied physics in college, as you said before, and they kept on asking me questions on physics. And my interview was 7 years after my college. So I was completely out of touch, but I was sure it's whatever I can do, I can, because it's not necessary that I have to remember each and every topic of my graduation, which is not possible. It's not I just passed out from college. So I was scared because of that. What will happen in those. Basic anxiety was there. In my second interview, I was more confident. I understood that it's completely fine to be nervous before an exam. I was more emotionally competent. I understood my emotions well. It's very important to say no to things. Those people are judging us. 5 people sitting in front of you, they will judge you on questions. So even then that maturity came in automatically with preparation. So when they asked question and I was not sure about it, I used to very politely say, sorry sir, sorry ma'am, I'm not aware of this, I don't know the answer, with a bit of smile. And I didn't think about this, because I always felt those 30 minutes is sort of an interaction. If whatever they want to check is in their hand, and whatever I want to speak is in my hand. I can control my inputs, but I cannot control their judgments. So I just focus on my inputs. I felt it's okay to be a bit nervous. It's completely fine, because just like any program or any interview, we are bound to be nervous. So a bit of nervousness is actually good for your performance. It has been proven by psychological research also. So once I understood that the kind of nervousness I'm feeling is completely fine, then in my second interview I was not scared. I felt completely fine about it, and it helped me a lot. I was more confident in my answers. Though my content-wise, my interview was bad as compared to the first interview, but I scored better marks in my second interview, because I felt more confident about it, and I was sure what I'm trying to say. If there was a situation, they asked me a question and I said, can I take a couple of minutes before I answer this? And the panel said, yes, take whatever time you want to take. And then I thought for 1 or 2 minutes, okay, am I able to gather something out of it? And I couldn't. And I said, sorry, ma'am, I couldn't gather anything. And that's how it is. I smiled at the end. Oh, I made a fool out of myself. Probably I could have got it, but okay, I was fine with it. So this stability, obviously, the first time this stability was missing, because of n number of factors. People were saying, interview mein they will do this, ye puch lete hain, wo puch lete hain, kuch bhi puch lete hain, डरा देंगे आपको. But unless or until you experience it, when you have the first hand experience, then only you understand things. So then after the first interview, I realized, why I was feeling scared. There was nothing. What was there to be scared about? Even if the person in the board, they try to scare you, but I know that they do this in interview. So if that understanding is there before the interview, then I feel you feel much more confident while answering, and then you know what you're trying to do, and you are not scared of their judgment. It's okay to not know things. You have 5 people, you can ask me anything you want, but that does not mean I should know each and everything. If that thing is there in my zone of acceptance, in zone of knowledge, I will answer. If I don't know about it, I will comfortably say no.
Thank you, sir. That was very informative. इसी के साथ हमारा प्रश्नोत्तर राउंड यहीं समाप्त होता है. मैं सर का धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी जिन्होंने सभी प्रश्नों का इतने धैर्य से उत्तर दिया. Thank you, sir. With this, I would like to invite Mehak to propose the official vote of thanks.
Thanks again, Amna. So I would like to thank you on behalf of the entire Kartavya, the Civil Services Society, our teachers board, and our principal, ma'am, Dr. Vibha Singh Chauhan, for turning up here and making time from this busy schedule and talking to all of us, answering all of the queries. Then I would like to thank. I'm so sorry for the background noise. Then I would like to thank all the team members of Kartavya who worked so hard in making posters and circulating content and managing people, managing groups and everything. And last but not the least, thank you everyone for turning up for this event and staying here for this 1 hour. We're really grateful and thank you so much for your questions and making it a worth attending event. I'm really sorry that we couldn't take all the questions due to the paucity of time, but we'll make sure that your questions are addressed in the sessions that we'll take in the future. Also, this session will be followed by our orientation ceremony. So people who are from Kirodimal College and who are willing to join Kartavya, so please stay for another 1 hour. And those who are not from Kirodimal College, you are requested to please leave this meeting after the session overs. Over to you, Amna and Krishika.
Thank you, Mehak. With this, we end our today's session. और इस सेशन की समाप्ति मैं चंद पंक्तियों के साथ करना चाहूंगी. मंजिल इंसान के हौसले आजमाती है, सपनों के पर्दे आंखों से हटाती है. मंजिल इंसान के हौसले आजमाती है, सपनों पर्दों के आंखों से हटाती है. किसी भी बात से हिम्मत ना हारना, ठोकर ही इंसान को चलना सिखाती है. शुक्रिया. On this note, our session comes to an end. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you everyone for the session and time, and best wishes for your preparations. Study hard, not even UPSC, in whatever things you do in life, believe in self. That self-confidence will sail you through. So best wishes to everyone, and I know there's no way where I can get the feedback of the session. So I would be more than happy. I have a Twitter account. You can follow me also. I'm getting an opportunity to ask you to follow me, but you can share your feedbacks over there on social media. I'll be more than happy to read, because just like I try to motivate, I also need that motivation back. So it's a two-fro thing. So do share the feedback, and best wishes. Let me know if there are any doubts. If you want to have want to conduct sessions later on, I'll be more than happy to be part of it. Thank you so much, and thank you Kartavya for organizing this. More power to the team. Please keep on working like this. You never know, these small efforts, these small things can motivate a number of aspirants, and this will help in bringing the paradigm shift in the way the college is, because we need more number of aspirants from Delhi University. So we are of the same fraternity. I'm not saying I'm from different college. We are part of the same fraternity. I want more people from KMC to clear civil services exam, and then we'll feel more proud of it. So thank you, Kartavya, for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll definitely share the screenshots of today's event and a collective feedback with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.